Well, you all saw the smear campaign. This is some disgusting stuff, man. This is really disgusting stuff they did to Trump. You all, I'm sure, heard about this yesterday, where the Atlantic accuses Trump of disparaging slain soldier. They've done this before and just outright lying. And the family responded. People have been coming out big time. Even like Secret Service members, you guys. It's not just this lady's family. There's a lot of people coming out saying this hit job, this hit piece is a bunch of bullshit. Like, not just saying it's bullshit in the say of like it's wrong to do this type of thing. No, it's fake. It's fake news. With just 2 weeks until the election, left-leaning magazine The Atlantic published an article on Tuesday accusing former President Donald Trump of disparaging a slain U.S. Army private in 2020. If this happened, then why didn't we hear about it then? Why am I only hearing about it 2 weeks before an election day? That should perk your bullshit meters really quick. Why am I just hearing this now? The Atlantic story, which was written by editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg, claims that Trump became angry when he learned how much the funeral bill was for soldier Vanessa Julian. The deceased 20-year-old, a daughter of Mexican immigrants, was murdered by a fellow soldier at Fort Hood in April 2020. After her death, Trump spoke to the family at the White House and offered to cover the cost of the funeral. Well, what Goldberg says and cites as attendees and contemporaneous notes of the meeting taken by a participant report that Trump fumed when he learned how much the family billed the White House. It doesn't cost $60,000 to bury a bleeping Mexican. That doesn't even sound like Trump, by the way. Like, that doesn't even sound like him. Natalie, the Julian family's attorney, so now you get the family's attorney in the mix here, says, and responded to the Atlantic story on X, accusing Goldberg of what? Lying and exploiting her clients for cheap political gain. The family lawyer's like, yeah, hey, this is bullshit. This didn't even happen. After having dealt with hundreds of reporters in my legal career, this is unfortunately the first time I've had to go on record and call out Jeffrey Goldberg, Atlantic. Not only did he misrepresent our conversation, but he outright lied, in all caps, lied in his sensational story. More importantly, he used and exploited my clients and Vanessa Julian's murder for cheap political gain. Correct. He did, because he's sick. He's sick. I would also like to point out that the timing of this story, oh, here we go, baby, this is going to be what I said, is quite suspicious. Yes, sir. Yes, it is. I'm liking this lawyer. I'm really liking this lawyer. It's refreshing when not only do I get to read the chat, because you all have common sense in the chat, the patriots that watch the show, the followers, you know, the people that believe in this country, our Constitution, the republic that we have here. The common sense is good. As this supposed conversation that Trump would have occurred 4 years ago, why the story about it now? She added, as everyone knows, not only did Trump support our military, he also invited my clients to the Oval Office and supported them and the I Am Jessica Julian bill too. So they fabricated this. Now you might think, okay, the lawyer came out, you're getting Secret Service members out, all these people are coming out saying it's a BS story. Well, Democrats are still going to run with it. No, the legacy media are going to still run with this story, this hit piece. Well, the sister comes out. Oh, yes, sir. And what does she say? The Atlantic piece and defended Trump's writing. She defended what she said, wow, I don't appreciate how you are exploiting my sister's death for politics, hurtful and disrespectful to the important changes she made for service members. President Donald Trump did nothing but support and show respect to my family and Vanessa. In fact, I voted for President Trump today. Does that sound like somebody would vote for the individual that said that about their loved one? Does that make sense to anybody? Because if Trump said that about my father, right? Because my father's no longer here. If he said that about my father, I would say, F you, dude. I'm not voting for you. I just wouldn't vote at the top of the ticket. So let's see what the media has to say. 2
weeks from Election Day as the final battleground sprint is underway. Every hour matters for these candidates as they try to reach as many voters as possible in the key states that will decide this election. For Donald Trump, that meant speaking at a roundtable in Florida at his golf club, courting the Latino vote after that campaign stop. A new report that Trump, while president, used the F word to describe a murdered Mexican-American soldier. That story is that Trump scoffed at the price of a funeral he offered to pay for Private Vanessa Guillen, something Trump's team tonight denies.
That's the same stuff. Remember how they sat there and ran that whole story that he didn't want to go to the cemetery to visit the veterans, but yet they wouldn't let the guy get there? The way that traveling was going to work out is you couldn't get there through motorcade. This was also echoed by Dan Bongino, who was a Secret Service member, and they couldn't sit there and fly the guy there, even though he asked. He said, well, just fly me with a chopper and I'll get there. They said, sir, we can't because it's too foggy. Like, we don't want to kill you. You're the president of the United States. So they sit there and put that hit piece, and then Joe Biden echoes it, right? And then you have all this stuff taking place. They're a bunch of liars. It's disgusting. I told my wife that's like one of the scariest things for me is that if I ever became like a notable person of a content creator on the conservative of the aisle with the AI and stuff that's generating, is I would just be fearful that somebody would fabricate some lies about me and there's nothing I could do to defend myself. Do you know what I mean? With the technology that's advancing so quickly that if we did become kind of big here, that would be my fear, right? Because there's nothing but my image now. There's my voice, all those things. It's just scary to me. They did that to a principal at a school. One of the employees, one of the teachers at a school, I don't know if you guys heard this story, actually made a AI of the principal. I forgot what the AI was of. It was of the principal, but it had him doing or saying something wrong, and he actually got let go, and he filed a lawsuit because it was fake. It wasn't real, and it turned out it was AI. So we're getting that realm where people are just going to start fabricating stuff about other individuals. Now, Megyn Kelly and Clay Travis and others blast Kamala after Trump hit piece presser. So Megyn Kelly, Clay Travis, and others reacted on Wednesday to Vice President Kamala Harris's surprise press conference to talk about the hit piece on former President Donald Trump. No, they pounced on this, you guys. The Democrats pounced on this because it just must be real, because Goldberg said so. The White House notified members of the press that Harris would be speaking from the White House president's residence at the Naval Observatory. During the 15-minute speech, the VP compared Trump to Hitler and attacked the former president for a since-rebuked story about a slain U.S. soldier. So just multiple lies, and that's all she does is lie. She's disgusting. Oh, Trump's Hitler. Remember how, like, now he's had 3 assassination attempts on his life, and they're like, we need to turn down the rhetoric. The dude got shot in the head. Oh, we need to turn down the rhetoric. Look into the fucking mirror, Democrats, you liberals, progressive lefties. If you're saying shit about Trump and calling him Hitler, 1, look in the mirror, and 2, go fuck yourself. Because he's not Hitler. He's nothing like Hitler. He was already president for 4 years and led us to prosperity and a lot more freedom around the world. Hitler didn't do those things. You'd have a stronger case to talk about the Democrat Party being more in line with Hitler and his whole Nazi party than the Republicans. And by the way, we have transcripts of Hitler looking at what the Democrat Party did to black people. And even Hitler himself in those transcripts said, no way in hell, I'm not doing that. That shit's too crazy. And if you're confused what I'm talking about, Hitler was looking into all the travesties that he was about to do upon all the Jews. And he was looking at what was called the one drop, like those, like the one drop law or whatever, where if you had one drop or one little speck of black blood in you, that you'd be deemed black, right? And even he was like, that's too far. I ain't doing that shit. So Democrats, if you read up on their whole history, there's a lot more closer relation to what the Nazi party was doing than the Republicans. But that's what they love to do, just call Trump a Hitler. He's a Hitler. A bunch of idiots. Their closing message is all about Trump and Hitler. The host of the Megyn Kelly Show podcast wrote on X, can you imagine how alarming their internal polls are? Oh, they're going crazy. This is what happens when you go crazy. You start just saying a bunch of nonsense. You just start going out there and smearing your political opponent. She's basically turned into like old school Trump, where she's just like trying to sit there and grab anything and everything she can. We also have their closing message, which is quoted by Megyn Kelly. Cohen compared Harris's move to the classic DC swamp playbook. Plant a fake story with a captured journalist media outlet, then cite the fake story in a political attack, similar to the fabricated, oh, he said it for me, damn it, the Steele dossier story. Damn, he took my thunder. As I was reading, I was like, dude, this is the Steele dossier, Hillary Clinton, the DNC, freaking fake story that they completely fabricated. Remember how the FBI like paid an informant to say a bunch of shit? That whole thing, the whole Russia hoax, started with one guy saying one thing. Yeah. The whole Russia hoax, one dude. They sat there and ran this whole scheme, this whole operation, PSYOP, deep state, investigation that cost us millions of dollars with the Mueller report, fucking from one guy that got money from the FBI. Fucking completely fake. It's a witch hunt. It's a hoax, which it was. And here we are again with the same shit. The House, the Jesse Kelly show, the House, the host, the campaign, Harris campaign, has $1 billion, an army of consultants, months of work on a plan. And the October surprise was the same Trump as Hitler. So that was their October surprise, you guys, coming out with that hit piece. That was supposed to be it. That was supposed to be the bombshell for them. Except we're used to it. We're used to you calling all of us names. You just sit there and direct it towards Trump, but we all know they're talking about all of us, right? We're not Hitler. We're not racists. We're not bigots. We're not xenophobes. We're not sexist. We're not any of those things. We're just a bunch of citizens who love this country, and we love the way that it was created. Not saying it doesn't have its flaws. It needs to continually be fixed. We're always trying to reach for those ideals that was enshrined in our Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We're always striving to be those things. In the same way, just as a lot of us are people of faith, we're striving to be perfect like Jesus Christ. Christ is King. We're trying to move towards that idea, move towards that vision. We're not perfect, but damn, this is the greatest country that God's ever created. There's nothing like it. And if we don't sit there and rise up and actually keep it great, we're going to be screwed here. The Democrats are doing everything they can to destroy this country. And I think there's a lot more behind the scenes that we're not seeing here in terms of the deep state mobilizing to do those things. There's people right now in the Pentagon, the DOD, that's leaking documents from our own military to our adversaries. There's a lot of things going on with these illegal immigrants becoming citizens and then being allowed to be in our military installations with highest levels of security clearance. That's a big problem. Big problem.